Hey guys, today I'm gonna walk you through how to draw basic still life in charcoal. And this is the two object still life, and the technique is more or less the same with the five object still life as well. If you're working from home, you got to find a nice flat surface, which can be a challenge. All I did is took a piece of masonite and screwed it to my wall. Now I could do that because I have a studio, but other people might have a harder time. But just do the best you can, and just make sure to have all your materials ready. Um, I've got charcoal pencils, the Dick Blick charcoal sticks, vine charcoal, the pen eraser, the chamois, the kneaded eraser, the vinyl eraser, just about everything you need. So as you can see, I've toned the sheet of paper down on the right, and now I'm gonna try and reproduce the drawing to the left. So here we go. Let's see if this works. Okay, there I am. Okay, as you can see, the first thing I'm doing is the vertical and horizontal guidelines with a T-square. And I'm drawing there's the table line right there. And of course, we're going to do our big bubble and our little bubble. And there I'm using the vine charcoal. Remember, if you use the vine charcoal and hold it down to the side, it makes a nice straight line. Okay, there I kind of changed my mind a little bit because the box was a little bit too small. Then once you have a nice sketch, just go over it with a small ruler or the triangle, just like that. And it's really a good idea to use the vine charcoal along with the pen racer thingamajigger. Um, okay, next I'm going to, because the table surface that it's on is white, so I'm going to erase all of that first with the chamois and then with the kneaded eraser and vinyl eraser. And I think it's a really good idea to kind of, simplify get bring forth the all the basic shapes when we talk about figure ground. And so, before I really start shading, I'm going to flip it over here and I'm going to create the background, which is going to be black. And of course, the reason I flip it upside down is because there's all this dust, charcoal dust, that's going to come down. It's going to get on your nice white surface if you don't do that. But it's not a big deal. You don't have to do that. But what I was trying to say is, there's a little mistake. I'm going to get that. Um, it's just nice to have this kind of three-toned starting point before you really start shading. So the foreground will be the table will be white, the background will be black, and the objects will be this nice middle gray. And I think it's generally true that you want to start simple and do the simplest things, and then leave the more complicated things for later. As you can see, I'm using a sheet of paper, just like I taught you guys in class. And I didn't have any paper, so I just used some old credit card bills. I just found those and used that. Okay, here I'm doing that whole method where I use the sheet of paper to create. Um, we want shifts in value in the plane rather than cartoon lines to create our form. So here I'm just erasing out the highlight on the left side of that box, and I'm going to do it there. I'm going to try and leave a little bit of uh, shadow kind of on. I don't know if you can see it, but like right here, we want to leave a little bit of shadow so we can articulate that line. Then we want to go over everything, and then okay, I'm going to switch to the next batch of images. You want to go over everything and just kind of grab a little bit of that dark charcoal from your big black the big field up there of black, and remember how I said you want to go and find those edges and make them a little dramatic, the unnecessary drama drawing technique. So that's what I'm doing right there. And basically you just want to find, when you're drawing your still life, you just want to find every edge where it sort of shifts from one plane to the other, and ask yourself, which one is lighter and which one is darker. And then when you've answered that question, you just want to amplify that difference. Okay, the sphere is a little tricky, and it requires something I call modeling. So you kind of have to do a lot of pushing and pulling. But the first thing is just like everything else, is just articulating the form. So I found the top part of it with the pen racer, and then I'm sort of making a more clear line into the shadow with the charcoal pencil, and then you saw the blending stick was used there as well. Now I'm going to do the opposite thing on the other side where the cast shadow is falling down. So I'm now switching to the charcoal pencil and the blending stick, kind of going back every once in a while with the pen eraser. Now the pen eraser is a really great tool. It's a wonderful kind of blending tool or modeling tool, and so you'll see that especially when we get to the highlight of the sphere. Okay, right now I'm just kind of filling in the shadow a little bit more. There you saw the blending stick. Okay, that was a kneaded eraser and or chamois, and then I'm sort of articulating a little bit more. Then I'm going to go in with the vinyl eraser, and you kind of get like a Neapolitan ice cream effect. But then you're going to use that pen eraser to kind of blend the light grays into the light grays. It's very important to use the pen eraser in that manner. Then I'm kind of smoothing it out, and as you can see, it's it's kind of hard to explain how to do this sphere. You kind of have to push and pull. You push it, you're going to create a little shadow, and then you're going to create a little highlight, and then you're just going to go back and forth until you kind of find this like nice medium. Then remember we got this reflected light coming in the right, and then what I call the crest shadow, and I'm going to fill that in with the charcoal pencil and then the blending stick. Going to blend a little bit more, and I think at this point I'm just kind of doing the little finishing touches and playing with this or that, just kind of going over everything, making everything a little bit more clear and precise. And hopefully this is understandable to you. This is the first this is the first time lapse video I've ever made, and maybe I'll do more because it's kind of interesting to see it develop like this over time. And I really hope this is helpful for you guys to watch. So there it is.